Alright, this will be a quick review on the Tikka T3X light and 308 Winchester. So originally I had planned on making this a shooting review. I just went outside, got set up, started doing some shooting. My camera lens was fogging up, and as you can see, it's snowing outside. So unfortunately, not a great day for outside video. What you see in there was my sadly very lonely these days rifle range. So do a quick review here on the tabletop, and maybe I'll try and do a shooting review a little later on if we can ever get some good days of weather. So Tikka T3X 308. This is one of the longest held rifles I've owned, one of the few rifles I could never replace. So 6 years ago, I was heading out on my first elk hunt. I had a 7 mag, which I was bringing on the hunt and did bring on the hunt. And I learned a lot of things from that. That same year, my nephew was coming with. He did not have a rifle suitable for elk, and I found a good excuse to purchase one for him to use on that trip. So went out and bought this one. At the time, I think on sale, I paid about $580 for it. These rifles are currently selling between $750 and $800 based on what I've seen. So very good rifle. So Tikka has produced phenomenal rifles for a very long time. I know everybody's thinking, God, not another Tikka guy. I am, and of course there's a reason for that. Tikka makes extremely accurate rifles. They have great bolts, really reliable magazine feeds on them, great triggers, and again, overall, probably the best factory production rifle ever made. So this is, again, 6th year now with this rifle. It has been on 6 Western hunting trips, 4 with me and 2 with family members. So far, I've shot 3 elk and a deer with this. This gun is responsible for all of my furthest kills. I took a deer at about 370, 375 with it. Finished an elk at 340 to 380 that somebody else had got around into. And then I killed a bull elk at 420 yards 2 years ago with it, and a big cow elk this year at 440 yards. So again, very capable shooting rifle. It does show some obvious wear and some scuffs from being used out in the mountains. I don't baby it. Again, this is a hunting rifle. You can see that some of the bluing's a little bit dinged up. It's got some splotches and stuff like that, but fortunately that has not in any way, shape, or form affected the reliability or the feeding or the accuracy of this rifle. So hunting loads I use out west, if I have an elk tag or an elk deer combo, I'm running 180 grain Nosler partition hand loads, 44 grains of reloader 15, and with the current lot of reloader 15, I'm getting 2,640 feet per second. Loading it in Peterson brass Federal 210M primers. And that load for me, consistently over the 6 years I've had this gun, even with different powder lots, has always held right about 0.8 MOA, which is really good. Again, partition's not known for being an extremely accurate bullet. Has a decent BC, I want to say about 0.44, but not made for long-range hunting, obviously an older design. I also hand load 150 AccuBonds about 2,840 feet per second with some IMR 4064, and that load runs about 0.7 MOA. Just blinking around here doing general practice and deer hunting locally. I run 150 grain Hornady interlocks. I don't remember the load on that or the velocity. It's not a super powerful load because we don't shoot very far here. I want to say the velocity is around 2,800. And again, that one's running right about 0.8 MOA. So this gun does have a little bit of a preference for flat-based bullets. Seems like I have an easier time getting accurate load with flat-based. I have tried other boat-tail bullets like the ELDX, and I just can't ever seem to get that really good accuracy with them, with the exception of the 150 AccuBonds. I didn't particularly care for the 165, 180 AccuBonds or any of the other boat-tail bullets I tried. 22.4 inch barrel on this, I believe. It does not come threaded, unfortunately. I did measure it last night out of curiosity. So 5/8 threads, 5/8 converts over to about 0.625, and the barrel on this at the very end diameter is about 0.623. I know gunsmiths don't like to thread these 5/8 because of that. You don't get all the material there you should. You can have these threaded aftermarket. You're not going to be 5/8 by 24, but there are a couple other options. Problem is with this one in 30 cal, there's just not a lot of metal left to work with on these. It's a fairly light contour barrel. So threading these down to to fit a suppressor and stuff. It doesn't leave a ton of material, and the gunsmiths get a little bit leery about doing that traditionally. So I have not threaded this. It is not Cerakoted, it is blued. Again, I've had this out west now for 6 years, hunting in every sort of conditions: rain, sleet, snow, freezing fog, you know, weather from 50 degrees to about 20 degrees below Fahrenheit. Have not had any issues with the finish, so I wipe it down with a rem oil wipe before we head west, and then I bring a couple width in a Ziploc bag, and if it gets wet, I will dry it as best I can, wipe it down with rem oil again, and continue hunting. So no rust issues at all. The bluing's held up very well. My brother has a Tikka in 270. He had some rust on his. He ended up getting his barreled action Cerakoted. I don't know what the difference is. The guns are about the same age. Again, I've had no issues, but that might just be maintenance. So bolt on the Tikka, of course, always top notch. So they run really well. They open and they close, you know, on par with any other really high quality rifle. They're smooth as can be. I mean, it takes no effort to work a Tikka bolt. A little bit of play in the back, but again, never had one bind or anything like that, trying to chamber around. Tikka comes with a 2-position safety, so forward is fire. This gun is clear. Again, I checked it multiple times before doing this video. So forward is off safe. You pull the trigger, and then the back position locks the bolt and is on safe. Gun will not fire. Nor is there any play on the trigger, which is nice. A lot of them are really sloppy on safe. But again, very well, one of the best barreled actions ever made. People build a ton of custom guns off the Tikka chassis because of that. It does have the loaded chamber indicator there, or the cocked indicator, so kind of nice reference if you're not sure. Trigger on Tikka is phenomenal. Always been phenomenal. This is the trigger that every other factory rifle is basically judged against. Done nothing with the trigger other than turn it down to 2.5 pounds. Very crisp trigger. I mean, there's no take up. You're right there. Nice clean break. So always excellent triggers on Tikka rifles. I don't think you'll find anyone that can complain about them. Stock is just plastic, nothing special about it. It does free float the rifled barrel. Has adequate clearance. I've never had an issue with barrel to stock contact on this. It shoots fine off a bipod. Just very well executed for a common, you know, plastic stock. You can flex the barrel into the stock, but it takes quite a bit more effort on this gun than a lot of the other cheaper guns that it competes against. I will note, if you pull the stock off, there is a ridge inside the stock about here that runs around and supports the bottom of the barrel. I would highly recommend leaving that alone. That was put there by Tikka engineers. Again, they've got these guns really well dialed in. There's no reason to mess with what they've done. So leave that there. Again, just a little bit of support there. Accuracy's been outstanding. So I would, again, highly recommend not playing with that. Do have the adjustable pistol grip on these. I've never spent any time looking at other options. I don't mind this. I'm not a big long-range bench rest guy. So what's there is very adequate. The stock feels good in the hand. Again, you've got some raised texture here. They did put some foam in the T3X model, which dampens the sound. This one is very quiet, probably because the cheek riser is also screwed through there, but I don't notice any noise or anything like that, you know, bumping into stuff, rubbing against brush. That would not be normal for any other noise you're going to hear if you bang your rifle on something. Stock, the drop of the comb there, or the straight comb, is not optimal for me. I much prefer having an adjustable riser or comb. I do put the Matthews Precision on all of my Tikka rifles. I've had really good luck with them. They're no frills. You don't feel them on your cheek. They hold very well in place. They lock in tight. I've never had a problem with one moving. They don't damage the stocks, other than, of course, the holes you drill through to put them on there. But makes this gun much nicer, in my opinion. Do have a fairly large scope on there, Leupold VX5, 3-15. Rings are Leupold Pro rings. It's my favorite set of rings and currently what I use on the vast majority of my rifles. I put a solid rail on pretty much all of my guns, just to give me as many mounting options as possible. In this case, this rear ring is all the way back. You want to spread them out as much as you can. across the tube of the scope, and the front one is literally right tight up to the bell of the scope where it starts to expand there. Recoil pad on this gun, the T3X was an upgrade from the original Tikka T3. In my opinion, it still sucked. So one of the first things I did was throw the limb saver. I can't see it because of the light. That's a limb saver, Air Tech, I believe it is. Man, that thing makes a difference. So significant difference again, especially since I'm pushing 30-06 velocities in a lightweight rifle. So this rifle from the factory comes about 6 pounds 3 ounces. That's gonna about sum it up. Again, I've owned 4 Western hunting rifles in my life, and this is the only one still standing. There's just things about all of the other 3 rifles that I didn't care for and that I just didn't want to deal with. This gun, again, extremely accurate with pretty much any load. I have a ton of people come out here to my range and shoot guns, and Tikka is one of the most common guns. I have never seen a Tikka that won't shoot better than MOA. So with proper ammo, every single one of these guns that's come out here shoots under an inch. Never seen a single manufacturer's defect in a Tikka. Trigger issues, action issues, anything like that. Tikka, for the most part, at least in this line, does not seem to make lemons. Quality control is extremely good. Again, if you're looking for just the one of the best all-around hunting rifles that comes in at between 6 and 6.5 pounds, with an adequate barrel to soak up a little bit of heat, that does everything well, this is an excellent option. I do think Tikka is going to start having a little bit more issues competing without Cerakoting their barreled actions and threading the muzzles. They've got a lot of stiff competition now from Bergara, CVA, Cascade, Ruger American Gen 2. There's guns that are coming in, you know, between $100 and $200 cheaper now that are starting to offer all of that, you know, adjustable comb height, adjustable length of pull as a standard option. So I would love to see Tikka step it up a little bit, start Cerakoting barrel actions at a minimum, you know, and optimally threading barrels, and stay in that $800 to $850 price range. I think that would once again put them firmly in the absolute best of value for high quality rifle category. Right now there's still a great value. People that own Tikkas are going to continue to buy Tikkas because they know they're extremely accurate. No frills, but everything you would ever need to go out west, you know, and take a really good, durable, accurate, reliable, repeatable rifle out there. I will again touch on the magazine real quick. So just a normal plastic polymer box magazine. Tikka, again, well designed, never had a feeding or extraction issue with these. The mags go in, no problem. They seat up in there nice. They almost sit inside the stock. I prefer internal box magazines for Western hunting. However, I've never lost a Tikka magazine or found one loose out there. And I think a big part of that is because their mag release is basically recessed up in the stock here. So again, just really well designed. It takes no effort. The mag release sits in front of the mag, so you can easily put it in, take it out with one hand. It's not in the rear like some of them where it's really awkward to try and get out, but that recessed release is big enough you can get it out with gloves on, but it's small enough and it sits in there far enough that I've never lost a mag on these or inadvertently hit that. So again, overall, excellent guns. Getting a lot more competitive in the category they're in. I will say Euro Optics right now, December 2024, has some of the blued ones on sale for about $730 and the stainless for $780, which is the best price I've seen on these in quite a while. So overall, Tikka, I mean, in my book, 9.25 points out of 10. The recoil pad from the factory is less than stellar. Again, I really wish they'd put an adjustable riser on there and Cerakote barreled actions and thread barrels. I think that would keep them very competitive in what's becoming a very competitive, you know, under $1,000 gun market. But overall, in my opinion, this is still a step above the Ruger Gen 2s and the CVA Cascade type of gun as far as overall quality control, accuracy, and reliability. So excellent gun again. Apologize for not shooting. I will try and do a shooting video with this. This gun is capable of extremely good accuracy with a variety of loads. If you have questions or comments, leave them below. If you like the video, hit the thumbs up. Please hit the subscribe button. My goal would be eventually, by the time I retire in 10 years, to start getting a little bit of revenue from advertising on YouTube, which would allow me to buy a lot more guns, optics, and accessories, so I can continue to offer fair and unbiased reviews on these. I have no association with the gun or optics industries. Everything you'll see on my videos I've purchased with my own money. So thanks for watching. Good luck. Happy hunting. And again, if you're in a market for just an overall rifle that I recommend to everybody, Tikka T3X, phenomenal choice.